So I respond to the voice and I just tell me what words.
Schedule it. I'll try to do it.
Okay, because we were just looking at options like storage, two-story, offices, just what is the best use of the space. I just want to make sure I have that conversation. Kind of get generous.
Yep, I agree 100% with you.
I don't want to be represented.
We're on the same page. So. And I would love to be involved in that conversation, but
Okay, we're actually a few minutes late, but welcome to our October 21st commission meeting, and we will get started. Welcome everybody here and online, and Commissioner Newton will give us an invocation and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Our Father in heaven, we're very grateful to gather here this evening. We're grateful for this beautiful valley that we live in. We're thankful for those who have come before us and made Morgan a great place to live. And we ask you to please bless us as we discuss the needs of our community, that we will remember our roots and remember our future and work to provide a good place to live, to continue to provide a good place to live. We're thankful for those who work so hard within our county government to keep things running and flowing, and we appreciate them and their families for their sacrifices. We ask you to bless us this evening, that we will have a good meeting and good discussion. And these things we pray for in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Newton. Also like to just say Commissioner Wilson is online, or said he was going to be, so hopefully Matt's there. Move to our consent agenda. Anybody have any questions on the consent agenda?
I don't.
No.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as listed.
Second.
Unknown caller.
Sorry.
I have a motion by Commissioner Newton and a second by Commissioner Blocker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Motion passes. Declarations of conflict of interest. Seeing none, we'll move to our public comment section. I ask that if you have any public comments, please limit those to 3 minutes. If we have a public hearing, which I know we do have, looks like one on our budget, you can hold that till you'll have time during that point of our meeting. So, anybody has any public comments, please come up to the podium, state your name and where you're from.
I do have one online.
Okay.
So if you're online for, oh, sorry, my email's up. If you're online for public comment, you can unmute. Okay. Hold on, Jeremy's texting. Okay. So just a reminder that all the other items on this, there's no public comment on. So if you have a comment on anything on the agenda except for the budget adjustment, now is your time. Okay.
Okay, seeing no public comments, we will move right along. So we have our first action item, number one, Nicole Reed with the 4-H coordinator.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nicole Reed, and I am the 4-H program coordinator for Morgan County. I'm here this evening because I've been working with some new 4-H leaders to get a 4-H shooting sports club going in the county, more specifically a rifle shooting sports club. We've got all the leaders through most of their training. We've got the club to where it's chartered so that kids can join it. So our next step is trying to find a space for them to shoot and have their practices. And that's why I'm here tonight, to see if we could get a spot at the rifle range for the club to meet. They like to meet March through November to do practices on Monday evenings from 5 to 10 at night, or when it gets dark, so that they can practice and go to competitions and just have that opportunity. And it's something new to the county, just like we do with the fairgrounds and the auditorium, where we have different 4-H events there at no cost, since it is we are a nonprofit.
How large is your group?
So they are keeping it small this year. They are limiting it to 5, which is the minimum that they have to have a chartered club, until they can get their bearings and figure out how everything's supposed to run, and then hopefully they'll be expanding it next year to a larger audience.
Could you, just for me and maybe everybody else, like what kind of happens, like the 4-H rifle, like I'm familiar with the trap, with the rodeo, and all that. What does the rifle club do? Like,
So they have different competitions throughout the year. We have what's called a shooting sports working group that puts on these competitions all throughout the state. And they go to these competitions to compete in them with the hopes of trying to make it to the state contest and then eventually make it to the national shooting sports contest. And so the practices is to help them get ready for these competitions and to hone in their rifle shooting skills.
So, what kind of rifles? Like, what are they shooting? Like 22, or is it?
There's no stipulation on that. It's just right because they have different disciplines. They have rifle, shotgun, and archery, and so it's just whatever gun that they own and just whatever they can afford. I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is this high school age children?
it is third grade and
Okay.
8 years old up through 12th grade.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah, so shooting sports, horse, livestock, ATV, which are considered higher risk programs, when the kids are in third grade and 8 years old as of September 1st, because that's when the 4-H year starts, that's when they can start doing these types of programs. So they can do it as young as third grade and up through their senior year in high school.
Wow. And is it just target shooting? Is that what it is?
Yes.
So just for information, the high school rodeo club also does shooting.
Yes.
Both rifle and shotgun. I think this would be a great opportunity for some younger kids to get some skills for when they move into the rodeo club as well, or maybe to do both and compete in both areas.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids in the community that do that. I've been over to the nights when the high school rodeo club does their practice, and there's
Yeah,
a
and
lot of kids
that's-
that are active in that. So I think this is great.
Yeah, it's one of our goals is hopefully that's a way to help them get ready for that if that's something that they want to do, while also continuing through it at the 4-H side as well.
awesome.
So you, go ahead.
No, please.
I was going to just say, you mentioned archery. Are you going to use archery at the same place, or are you using that somewhere else?
We just right now only have a rifle
Okay. But
shooting sports
eventually,
club.
you're going to have archery too.
If we have someone that is willing to go through the training, because the shooting sports program is the most extensive training that any of our leaders have to go through for safety reasons, and there are separate trainings for each discipline. So right now we only have the rifle shooting sports, but if I get someone that's interested in leading archery, we'll get them through the training that they need to have and then get an archery club chartered as well.
Nicole, these are volunteer run, correct?
Yes.
So that means if anybody is interested, they need to contact you to.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so that's for any of the sports of
Yep.
those. Okay.
Yep. Love to get them going. Just needs people that are willing to go through that training and to share their skills with the kids.
So one other question.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
mentioned maybe Mondays nights, 5 to 10, or when it gets dark.
Uh-huh.
Would you be encompassing the entire shooting range, or would there be spots open for public still?
I think that's something that we could definitely talk about. They don't really know for sure. They just wanted to see what the possibility was for them to be able to go to the shooting range to have practices. So it doesn't have to be the entire range. It could just be a certain area. Whatever you guys think is best and are willing to let them do.
You could, in theory, still be doing shotgun while they're doing rifle. So that might be an option. Maybe the public can still do shotgun shooting over there on those nights or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're going to schedule these, are you going to be able to do it the online way, like others have been able to do, or is it going to have to be going through Kate to determine what goes on?
Well, you mean to book out the
Yes, look it out.
Well, I think we would just block it off
Okay.
on Monday nights from that time period. Similar to what we would do like with the fairgrounds or the auditorium. If it's a county use, we would just block it off.
That's the clerk's office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Work with Cindy.
All right. Sounds good.
I think this is a great idea, and I appreciate, I don't know who your volunteers that are running the program are, but I appreciate them and want them to know that we love the 4-H volunteers that are willing to give their time to the youth of this community. I think that's just a wonderful thing. So there's a lot of programs that do that, not just 4-H, but athletic programs and other things. So it's wonderful that we have people that are willing to do that.
Yes, and I'll be sure to pass it on because it's been a need in the county for a while, but we just haven't had one do it. And now we do, and they're gung ho.
Yeah, well, I think this is great.
I'll make a motion I move that we accept Morgan County Resolution 25-53, a resolution waiving rifle range fees for the Morgan County 4-H Shooting Sports Club.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Commissioner Blocker and a second by Commissioner Fackrell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Motion
Thank
passes.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ty Bailey.
Do you want me to give background or you want to?
What's that?
Do you want me to give background or do you want to?
I can.
Go.
You have a lot left to say on the end of the.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, we want to hear from Ty. If he's here, he better speak
Oh
up.
yeah, gotta earn my. So I'm Ty Bailey, this Morgan City Manager. This is a request for an additional $150,000 for the Corridor Preservation Fund. So the COG is the group that prioritizes the corridor preservation money. It's money that's collected on vehicle registrations countywide. And the main purpose of the fund is to buy property for future right-of-way, future roads building. And up till now, we haven't had a project until just recently. So historically, the money's just been spent on maintenance, on road maintenance, like chip seals. And this is an opportunity for us to do something really meaningful. So the project is on 400 East by Tips. I don't know the other coordinates, but basically to get a road through the UDOT property to where the Clark Farm begins. So when UDOT put in their shed, they developed off of Industrial Road and didn't leave right of way for that road to go through. So in order for us to have a second way in and out for future development, then we need that property. And so we have spent 2 years trying to buy the property from UDOT. We finally got to the end where we have a land purchase agreement. In the grant request to the COG, I put up to 400,000 because we weren't sure, what they were going to charge us, and I couldn't have imagined that it would be more than 400, so I put up to 400. And initially, when you approved the funding, you did 250 because at the time we also didn't know, what the actual cost of the property was going to be. The first appraisal came back at 720,000, and I pushed back on that. It took a couple of months, but I had to explain that there's no water, sewer, power. There is no road there. That's why we're buying the property, so it's not developable property as it sits. And the appraisal came back at 440,000. So our land purchase agreement's for 440,000, and so that's why I'm requesting the additional 150 to make the 400 for the property. And then the city at some point will be responsible to put the road in because there's no developer on that section of road. And our estimate right now is $1.5 million to put the road in with the infrastructure. So we'll definitely be contributing to the project.
So just to recap, this was brought before COG, Council of Governments, in January, came before County Commission February 18th. COG recommended 400,000, up to 400,000. Commission approved 250,000. We budgeted this year to spend 400,000 out of that budget. That still leaves us almost 400,000 in the fund balance. And they have not requested the 250. The city has not requested the 250 because they were waiting on this final amount. So essentially what they're asking for is, instead of just 250, they're asking for the full 400 recommended by COG.
So where's the other 40 coming from?
Just the city capital improvement.
Sorry.
Capital improvement fund from the city.
Perfect. Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Go for it.
Yeah.
So, if we take all that money, we're working on other land acquisitions and stuff where, then what do we do? Can we
So you're asking if we spend down that 400,000, the other land acquisitions that we have in process, where is that money coming from? Is that your question, Commissioner Wilson?
We can't quite hear you.
Okay.
Did
So-
you not hear me?
No,
No, not very well.
Okay, sorry. Can you hear me now?
I'm
very
gonna
lightly.
have
Jeremy, turn it up. The deaf commissioner can't hear you.
Use your good ear.
I'm just wondering if we deplete our account, what we do, because we're working on land acquisitions and stuff, so what happens that way?
So this is for corridor preservation. It's a very specific set of uses. So the land we are looking to acquire, only one of them would qualify for this fund, and it would still be a COG recommendation. The other two would probably come from our Greenbelt rollback fund. So we budgeted 400,000. We're expecting to take in about 135,000 this year. We're sitting on an additional 400,000, a little less, in fund balance.
and that's in which fund? That's in the
Corridor
corridor
preservation.
preservation is only 382. Okay, want to clear that up. Okay,
So it wouldn't be depleting the fund. It would cut it in half.
that's for the 150,000 more, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, the full 400.
So I have a question for Ty. How is it that they are evaluating or appraising this at residential rates? Because there's no buildings that are going to be built on there. It's just a road,
That's why it came back at 440 instead of
but
7.
appraisal rates are 300,000 an acre. They're charging us for a residential rate on this appraisal.
So it's,
So I'm trying to figure out where they're coming up with this
because
number.
it's zoned as industrial, so the current use of the property would be allowed in industrial use, so it's not necessarily residential, it's, if a third party bought it, of course, they would have to put the road in and everything else, it's just, the way the appraisal came back. But property is pretty expensive, even if it's just bare ground.
Okay.
Well, my understanding is when it's a government-to-government agreement, it has to be at the appraised value. You can't, UDOT couldn't, even if they wanted to, say, oh, we'll sell it to you for 20 grand, right? They'd have to.
Correct. There's case law
Yeah,
against that.
So that was our only opportunity to push back on, was the actual appraisal, not negotiating this.
The actual price.
Yeah, in a position to go back and forth with UDOT and say, well, we'll give you, a curb cut, or we'll stub out a sewer line, or that's all irrelevant.
Well, so any other questions?
How much of what was it in length that this road was? Do you remember? Does anybody remember?
I don't remember, the property's over an acre, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it's 1
It's 60 foot wide, I don't remember how long, but it's their entire length of the property, so.
Okay. So then, Kate, you're saying that the other 150 will come from the corridor preservation, or will it come from a different fund?
All of it will come from corridor
The whole
preservation.
400.
And that's making it to where we have a little bit less than what we're supposed to in our fund. Is that correct?
No, it would
So
mean
we'll
we
be
would
okay
be
with it?
expending what the commission budgeted to expend for the year.
Okay.
But the balance would remain at close to 400 by the end of the
Oh,
year.
it still will be 400 by the end of the year.
So, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the request from Morgan City for $400,000 from the Corridor Preservation Fund for the purchase of the property that's been indicated, construction of a future road.
Can I add to that?
Yes.
That it's in lieu of the 250 and not in addition to?
Yes, thank you. So,
We gotta
so
watch out for these
a total
city
of
managers.
400,000 in lieu of the 250, or 150 on top of the 250 already approved, for a total of 400,000 to come from the corridor preservation fund.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Commissioner Newton and a second by Commissioner Blocker. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Thanks, Ty.
Okay, thanks so much. And
Thank you,
it's
Ty.
also a pleasure to serve with you guys on McCog. So you get the backstory before it
Yeah,
comes
it's like,
here.
we heard this yesterday. Well, Kate kind of stole his thunder yesterday.
I did.
She's like, well, now we're done with that one. We don't have to talk to Ty.
Thanks, Ty.
Thanks, Ty. Appreciate it. Okay. Looks like Jeremy's speaking for Josh.
That's right.
Perfect.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, and good evening to the County Commission. Action item F3 for your agenda is the Shadow Creek Development Preliminary Plat. That's application 24.069. The applicant is Casey Lowe. I don't see any representative in the audience tonight. The property owner is Steve Peterson. The current zoning of the,
He's right there.
oh, there he is. Oh. He's right there. The current zoning is rural residential 5-acre minimum, R5, and the general plan designation matches that as a ranch residential 5 designation on the future land use map of the county general plan. The acreage of the two larger parcels combined is 80.19 acres, and the project location is approximately 700 feet northwest of the intersection of West Surrey Lane and North Morgan Valley Drive. The request for tonight, Mr. Vice Chair, is approval of a preliminary plat for a 14-lot subdivision. The size of which lots range from 5 acres to about 6.15 acres at the largest, with an average of 5.15 acres in the subdivision. The subdivision is gets its access from a private road, a 36-foot right-of-way. The preliminary plat standards for the application includes looking at a grading and drainage plan, as well as a utility plan. Geohazards is also looked at this level, and a review is provided, Mr. Vice Chair, by planning staff, by the Weaver Morgan Health Department, by the county engineer, all recommending approval of this application. Staff also recommends approval, seeing applicable codes satisfied for development at this stage, or at least for the planning of development at this stage. The Planning Commission heard this item at their regularly scheduled meeting on October 9. There were no comments during the public comment portion of the meeting. The discussion from the Planning Commission included a disagreement with county staff regarding whether the Morgan County Code requires utility easements to be depicted on a preliminary plat drawing. Utility easements and the depiction of septic leach fields is what I should clarify. It was discussed that, staff reiterated that depicting septic leach fields at the preliminary plat stage is not a requirement from the code, and explained that leach fields are generally decided upon at the time of building permit submittal and review. Additional concerns were expressed regarding the overlap on the, and if we could get it depicted on the screen there, there's a plat drawings. It's one of the last few attachments. Just a few more. That's the floods. There we go. So the overlap of well protection zones, or rather how they spill into different property lines, and so that was brought up as discussion from the Planning Commission. And the discussion yielded a vote to recommend approval to this body unanimously with the 5-0 votes. The chair not voting and Member Watt being absent from the meeting. And I'll read the conditions of the approval, or rather the additions that were requested to be added into the record. First, that all lot utility easements are identified on the plat, and 2, that the wellhead protection zones must be located wholly within the lot boundaries. Otherwise, Mr. Vice Chair, if you have any questions, staff is happy to answer those. Thank you.
Sorry, that was kind of one of my only questions. I was looking at this. It looks like, I'm assuming the circle with the dot, that's the wellhead protection.
That's correct.
Basically, lot 14, 13, it overlaps, and you have one on the back, lot 7, and lot, is that 6? So one of their conditions was that those would be all wholly on each lot. So I was like, that can kind of cause some issues with neighbors if you have, well, you can't use that, you can't, because it's my wellhead protection. So I think you answered that question. That was the only thing I really had for it. So thank you for that. Any other questions?
That was my same question.
Okay. Commissioner Walker?
Looks good.
Okay. I'll look
Applicant's
for a
here if you'd
motion.
like to give them,
I'm sorry?
the applicant is here if you'd like to give them a chance to speak.
Yeah, let's let him talk.
Does anybody want to hear from the applicant? You're welcome to. He's good.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the Shadow Creek Development Preliminary Plat Application 24.069 for a proposed subdivision of 14 single-family lots located approximately 700 feet northwest of the intersection of West Surrey Lane and North Morgan Valley Drive in Milton, based on the findings and with the conditions listed in the staff report dated October 21st, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Newton and a second by Commissioner Fackrell. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Jeremy, looks like you're up again.
I shouldn't have sat down, honestly. Action item F4 is for the Northside Creek PRUD second plat amendment. That's file number 25.008. The applicant is Skylar Gardner, Mr. Vice Chair, who is present in the audience tonight, representing the owner, which is Northside Creek LLC. The location of the project is approximately almost a quarter mile northeast of the intersection of North Cottonwood Canyon Road and North Parkside Drive. Cottonwood Canyon Road being a public right-of-way and North Lakeside Drive being a private road. The parcel numbers and serial numbers in your meeting packet tonight identify the property more specifically, with the current zoning being underlying rural residential 5-acre minimum with the overlay of a development, particularly the Northside Creek Development Agreement. The acreage affected by tonight's request, Mr. Vice Chair, is 2.5 acres, which is noted as Parcel K on all versions of the plat, a plat and one prior plat amendment, with the request including a split that be to create 3 additional lots, Mr. Vice Chair. So the lots would range in size from 0.8 acres to 0.86 acres. And so some context that was also given to the Planning Commission includes around this time last year where a development agreement amendment came forth to this body, a prior version of this body, in the form of application 24.024, which sought to seek approval for the finalization of the allocation of bonus density, which allowed for 3 additional residential lots within the project. At the time, and this was some clarification given to the Planning Commission, that it came down to a choice to the developer to choose either 3 single-family dwelling units or 6 townhome units, taking the style of, I believe, duplexes. The applicant elected to do the 3 single-family dwelling unit option, and it also addressed the amenities constructed by the developer as part of the original development commitments. The amendment was approved and granted that bonus density and amenity provisions, and was approved by the County Commission at the time on August 20th, 2024, and was codified as ordinance number CO 24-19. The applicants provided a detailed written narrative that goes over some of this context, and again has taken the form of a plat amendment application for tonight to carve out those lots. The planning staff, having provided a review along with the county engineer, the county recorder, the county surveyor, and the Mountain Green Fire Protection District, all providing reviews and recommending approval to the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission having heard this item on their regularly scheduled meeting on October 9. Also giving a recommendation of approval to this body with a vote of 5-0. And again, Chair Maloney not voting and Member Watt being absent from the meeting. Otherwise, again, the applicant is in the audience tonight, and staff is happy to answer any questions.
I will make one correction. The applicant of that development agreement amendment was requesting 3 single-family homes or 6 townhomes. The county commission approved 3, the 3 lots, not the 6. It wasn't, he wasn't given a choice.
So does that also mean then, you have in here that they're 0.8 of an acre for each one? And you were saying that it was RR5 to begin with? Or did you
That's the
misspeak on
underlying
that?
zoning, yeah.
The underlying zoning was not changed. The development agreement controls, which means that these lots meet the minimum requirements for the development agreement.
Okay. Can you explain what that diamond shaped area is supposed to be there? This stuff.
Like the cross hatching?
Yeah.
It's an easement, slope no build easement
Slope
for
mobile.
the applicant. A slope no build easement.
Oh, no build. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So will they be removing materials from that area as a potential? I'm worried about potential sloughing off from the backside into that property, and then we end up in trouble.
Refer to the applicant on that.
Okay.
Skylar Gardner, the representative for Northside Creek LLC. That slope no build easement is a no construction area, so we do not plan to allow any excavation or any removal of soil from that location. That is the toe of a hill, and it could potentially create problems, but it is identified as a no build area.
Okay. And so there's not been any sloughing off on that either right now, even with the current development around it that's happened.
Correct, there has not.
Okay. And there's no concern about water runoff from that area?
No, because that hill, it is quite steep, but it's not a very long length. It actually plateaus immediately right there. So there's actually a large fill just to the east of it, and it does not create water that runs onto our property.
Okay.
Looks good. You guys have done driving by, haven't been inside, but you guys have done a great job improving it and making it look nice, and it looks good to me. Could you, just for the sake of addressing the issue we got from one of our constituents about the easement road? I know it doesn't relate, but it does.
Yeah, so not this road in front of these properties, but a dirt road that's to the west. I don't know if there's an area.
It's on the other side of the reservoir.
Yeah, on the other side of the reservoir. That is a road that accesses up Cottonwood Canyon. That road is identified, or was identified on the original plat in 2009 and then amended in 2021, I believe, as an access easement for people to go up Cottonwood Canyon. The concern was that there is some areas where it is too narrow, or it is not 20 feet wide. I spoke with both Marshall Brendel and Marshall Rich earlier today, and I plan to walk that or do a site visit there to identify any areas that are too narrow, that are less than the 20 foot wide required for the access easement. The constituent that did submit something claimed that the easement they submitted identified a 25-foot wide easement. It does not. That easement is only 12 feet wide, and it's only specific to those two parties. So we're not opposed to ensuring that the 20-foot wide easement, emergency easement, is available to the fire department, and I do plan to work with them on that. But it is, you are correct, it's not exactly related to, I mean, it's in the same project, but it doesn't necessarily affect these 3 lots. These 3 lots added to the 22 will be 25 total lots, which is still under the 30 lot fire code requirement.
So as far as the easement road, you're saying you're gonna walk that and you wanna make sure that it has the 25?
20 foot. Yeah, so the emergency personnel need a 20-foot wide access for fire.
So you'll make sure that it's all
Yeah.
20-foot wide for the
And there are a
emergency
few areas
purposes.
where we have on that really small on that small lake right there, we've built a large berm to create privacy from that dirt road. And there were some rocks that were piled in the road, really large boulders, like 4-foot boulders that were quite large, but those have actually they've already been moved and been placed onto that hillside. And we were actually, the landscaper was up there working on it today. So that's in progress, and I do plan to meet with the both fire chiefs at the same time to ensure that they have access to our clubhouse, which is here. Primary access for that clubhouse is the dirt road in an emergency event. And then beyond that clubhouse, ensuring that there is a 20-foot wide path for emergency vehicles.
So I'm off subject also like this.
Okay.
Have you done something to the creek, Cottonwood Creek, that does not allow them to go over it with like the livestock trailers and all that kind of stuff, because that is agricultural area?
There was a previous road that we had constructed a little bit further to the west, that during the large run, so we pushed that dirt road further to the west. And during the runoff of 2023, a good portion of that roadway was
Washed out.
carried away,
Washed out.
gone. And so we restored it back to its original location.
And so how about the road that was destroyed going across?
That was all under a permit from the state of Utah. We actually went back in and excavated all of the creek along there to create a more defined path and removed all of that roadway material in there. In terms of the ranchers that need access, we've actually modified our fence at the north end so that they can make a larger left-handed turn to get onto the bridge that crosses Cottonwood Creek. That is something we actually worked with them on when we did the plat amendment in 2001. And they've been
So-
using it since then.
Come up to the mic for us, Rulon, please, because we can't hear it. I can,
Come
but
up.
the public can't hear it on our recordings. So we need you to come to the mic.
Yeah, so right next to the bridge, the area, the turn radius area is more like 120 feet wide. I mean, it's plenty long enough for a large semi to make that turn.
What Commissioner Fackrell is saying is, what Commissioner Fackrell is saying is that right next to the bridge, there was an agricultural easement, not easement, excuse me, place where some of the heavier equipment would go through. It wasn't created by us, nor have we interfered with that. It's there, but Stream Alterations doesn't recognize it. There's no permit to go through a creek
Right.
without Stream Alterations. But we know that heavy equipment does go there and they could still traverse that. Our issue is up to the bridge. That's where our easement ends, but when I was talking to Darren Rasmussen today with Stream Alterations, he knows of no permit that's ever been issued to go through a creek.
He's a little young though. He may not remember.
He what?
He's a little young, so he may not remember.
Well, this print would still exist on the books, right? So I think it needs to be applied for. We're not opposed to it. I mean, it could go through the creek if they would like. As you know, they can't go through the creek when there's water. They have to keep their trucks washed, you know, all the environmental issues associated with that.
Right.
So
Okay, all right,
does
thanks.
that answer your concern?
It does.
See, Skylar, I could.
I'm happy to answer any other questions you might have related to those 3 lots, but just so for everybody's clarification, we did plan those 3 lots when we constructed the private roadway for the subdivision. Those 3 lots already have all of the utilities stubbed and everything, so there's actually no construction that will occur with the platting of these 3 lots.
So in your development agreement, you have a total of 30 that you could have,
A total of 25.
total of 25, okay.
The 30 is the International Fire Code requirement
Okay,
for
all
a
right.
second. Okay.
All right, that's fine.
Anything else?
Is there any other questions, comments?
Okay, I'll make a motion. I moved, we approve the Northside Creek PRUD number 2 plat amendment application 25.008, allowing for the creation of 3 lots located approximately 0.22 miles northeast of the intersection of North Cottonwood Canyon Road and North Lakeside Drive in unincorporated Morgan County, based on the findings and with the conditions listed in the staff report dated October 21st, 2025.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Commissioner Blocker and a second by Commissioner Newton. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Item number 5, Jeremy again. That's me.
Item number F5 is the Meadow Park East Cottonwoods Phase 5A-5 preliminary plat. That's file number 25.009. The applicant again being Skylar Gardner, representing multiple property owners in the area, namely Cottonwood Meadows Holding Company Incorporated, Gardner Cottonwood Creek LC. The project location is east of the intersection of Park Meadow Drive and Kingston Drive, to be extended through improvements to the site eastward and southward. The parcel numbers and serial numbers list multiple parcels in the area, all under the Cottonwoods Development Agreement, with again the underlying zoning being rural residential 1 acre minimum. The acreage of these parcels combined is 7.29 acres, with the request tonight, Mr. Vice Chair, being to approve, for this body to approve a preliminary plat request for a 24-unit subdivision across 5 parcels utilizing condominium-style lot line homes with yards in common, governed by CCNRs that'll be reviewed by staff. The lots or the units range in size from about 3,000 square feet to about 3,800 square feet, an average of about 3,400 square feet. There is going to be approximately 3.95 acres of open space, again with those the yards in common, as previously mentioned. Planning staff, having reviewed, finds that this meets all of the minimum code requirements for accomplishing a preliminary plat. The reviewers consisting of the Mountain Green Fire Protection District, the county engineer, planning staff, and the county's GIS contractor for addressing, in conjunction with the addressing official. The utility companies in the area are Cottonwood Mutual Water Company, Mountain Green Sewer Improvement District, and again the Fire Protection District. The Planning Commission heard this item at their regularly scheduled meeting also on October 9. with no comments made from the public, but staff having received approximately 2 calls. Those callers being disappointed to see the bike trails removed, and that being a subject of conversation by both staff and the applicant. The trail in question is a single-track mountain bike trail, which was constructed with permission from the property owner to the Trails Committee and Master Owners Association. The trail will be closed during construction of improvements with the subdivision, with plans to allow for the trail to essentially continue between lots 512 and 513 there in this depiction on your screen, Mr. Vice Chair, at the bottom right of the depicted units, and then continuing perhaps southward or eastward, depending on how negotiations with other property owners, neighboring property owners, go. There was a question on approved density. That density coming from the development agreement, circa 2008, I believe, 2006 perhaps, with a depiction of 120 units between in the Meadow Park area. And so with this request, they're looking to have 24 units that will not exceed the allotment for density as provided in that development agreement. I'm happy to defer to the applicant for more information on that. The vote, Mr. Vice Chair, being a recommendation of approval to this body, with a 5-0 vote. Again, Chair Maloney not voting and Member Watt being absent from that meeting. Otherwise, Josh and I are happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair.
So just to clarify, this could have been 120
No, that's within
Lots?
all the phases, right?
or all phases?
All the phases. I believe.
Within phase 5,
No. Oh,
correct?
for phase 5, I'll defer to the applicant on that.
Okay. And this,
Yeah, Skylar Gardner for Cottonwood Meadows Village LLC. The concept plan that is attached to the development agreement for the Cottonwoods at Mountain Green within this area identified 120 units. We are proposing now all of phase 5 will constitute 92 units. The reason it was able to achieve 120 units previously is because in the center where we did the just to the west of this site right here, where we constructed 68 single-family homes, those were in the original concept plan, they were townhomes, which boosted the density quite a bit.
So what are you doing with that area? That one just to the west of?
Oh, it's already platted and approved, and there are single-family homes, 68.
So that's the one right next to the elementary school?
Just to the north of the elementary school.
Yeah, just directly north of the elementary school.
So 68 units with their yards in common. And then this project here, moving to the east, is the exact same concept. Yards in common, slightly larger single-family homes, but they are all single-family homes.
okay, that's what I was gonna ask you. You call them condominium style, or the other ones you called cottage homes, but they're the same thing.
Yeah, under the subdivision, we utilize the condominium ordinance from the state so that we could establish, the site plan's not back up, but basically there's one large lot, and within that lot there are units. And that helped us to accommodate our setbacks, the 10-foot setbacks between units, because if they were individual lots, we'd have to have 20 feet in between units. So we are utilizing the condominium act under the state of Utah
Nice.
with this plat.
But it's gonna look like the cottages.
It will look well, these, not exactly. There are a few of them that will be the exact same, but there is a new model of home that will be going in this location, slightly larger, closer to 4,000 square feet, where the cottage homes were about 3,200 square feet.
Okay.
So you're saying the homes will be about 4,000 square feet,
Uh-huh.
but the lots are only 3,200?
Yes,
How do you build a house without the places?
they're 2-story.
Oh, okay, thank
So,
you.
Yeah. This
I was gonna say.
Nice ramp.
this
you could
slopes
have built it
uphill
on
a
land
little
that's not
bit, so
there.
I should have brought a rendering.
Okay,
Sorry, I didn't mean
so,
to.
all right.
This slopes uphill, and we've designed a home where you actually drive in at the basement level.
Okay.
There's living level downstairs, but your main living level is up above, and then up above you actually walk out on grade. So the home itself actually retains the hillside as you slope uphill towards the cul-de-sac
So those are on the east side there.
on the east side.
So
On the
no
east side.
basements.
Well, they are basements technically, but they are walkout on the front, and
Okay.
the garage level is on the front. There's actually quite a few homes with this same design along Park Meadow Drive there, where it slopes up immediately. They kind of bury the home into the hillside and garage at the lower level, and then you go up to your main living level. It optimizes the view corridors for pretty much everybody.
And then about the trail.
Yes.
So you're saying the trail is going to now start in the cul-de-sac, or no?
Yes. So
Can you point it out by taking the,
Leave the
take
trail
the mic
runs-
over, take the mic with you. Thanks.
this one's good. Currently, there's just a dirt road that goes right here up to the water tanks, and right now there's a single track trail that it's about right here. Kind of goes right through the middle of these units, all the way behind all of the existing homes on Park Meadow. We do plan to accommodate a trail opening right here that will go right here. So you're on pavement, asphalt here. You leave the pavement, you go in between 512 and 513, and then connect back into the
So
single.
where are
family
people
trail.
gonna park? If you're gonna go right along the road, if anybody wants to use this trail,
But
well, I know that the mountain bike team used to go through all the trails through Mountain Green.
yeah, they are quite used because they have been entered. Many of the trails in the subdivision have been put onto like mountain biking trail apps and things. So there are a few people that show up to use them, but the majority, probably 90+% of the people, are the people that live in the subdivision or the mountain bike team that's parking down at the school and then riding throughout the entire.
Because my only worry is that you're gonna be having parking on the street. And then there's gonna be an accident.
I don't think that's a worry because there's so many other
It is if
trail
I was living in it.
accesses to get on the trail.
Okay. If you
Yeah,
don't think
in
so.
all of the other trail locations, there are other trail locations in the subdivision that leave just adjacent to homes and things, and there's not a lot of out-of-town parking that occurs, or that I've noticed at least. I think the majority of them park at the elementary school or the larger park down on Arlington Drive, and then they ride from there.
One other question. I've seen that hillside in the springtime or when it rains really bad. What are you doing about the drainage and all the flooding that takes place there?
That's a good question. We have actually already gone in and graded some large catch ditches, I guess you could say, to direct some of the water that's been flowing that direction. All of these homes will all have foundation drains that tie to the land drain. In addition, we're planning to take all of the rooftops, and we did this actually in the other the other portion of phase 5 as well. Take all of the rooftop water and we put it into a separate pipe that delivers into the storm drain system. On the back side there is a little bit of a hill. We'll probably have to work with that adjoining property owner to do a little bit of grading right along the property line there too.
And
further
are you
protect
talking
that.
about the east side or the north side?
Yeah, going east where it says Ridge at Cottonwoods LC. I'm not sure exactly what their latest plans are, but in the event that they do move forward with some type of development, we'd have to coordinate with them. Because our property's got a little bit of slope, but as soon as another 500 feet, it really gets quite steep. And that's where the majority of the water runs onto their property for a little while before it gets to our property. But we are aware of the water problems. There is a full land drain system as recommended by the geotechnical engineer, as well as those rooftop drains and obviously the storm drain system for the roadway.
How wide are these streets? Because I couldn't see it. Too small.
These are 55 or 60.
60 foot wide?
No, I think your standard is 55.
I think it's 55.
And these will be public roads, is that correct?
They will be public roads, yes.
And they'll be curb and gutter or what?
Yeah, fully improved curb and gutter sidewalk.
And it does have the sidewalk, okay.
Yeah, and it does stub to the adjoining landowner.
And how big are the sidewalks? How wide are the sidewalks? What's the standard?
We've been installing 5-foot sidewalks. I believe they are 5-foot sidewalks in the construction drawings, but they're either 4 or 5.
If they're 4, they require a sidewalk passing lane every 150 feet. So I would imagine they're 5.
I'm pretty sure they're 5 foot.
Okay.
The other thing that you'll see in your packet is a letter from Ensign Engineering related to Cobble Creek Reservoir. We've done an extensive study on that reservoir, and what they refer to as the PMF, or the probable maximum flood, in the event that there is a failure of that reservoir. And that gray shaded area that you could see on our site plan there, sorry, can we go back to that site plan? This gray shaded area is the influence of that potential probable maximum flood. And this plat actually doesn't have it, but the line does come a little bit closer to the homes. But we have worked with Ensign and the engineer who prepared the report for the dam, and we've established a finished floor elevation for each of the homes, 1 foot above the recommended level of the dam engineer's report. And we're also building a large deflection berm behind these homes.
That's that 12, that was going to be one of my questions, that 12
Yeah,
foot
that's the
wide.
12-foot berm that's going behind these.
What, I was saying, because one of my, as I was reading through that letter the other day, is a lot of times in these developments, it's like, oh yeah, we're going to do this, and then it never happens. And so, and I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but it's always a concern, especially when we have water like this. Like you have a reservoir, you have a lake, whatever. If something were to happen and the developer never followed through, now the counties, we've got homeowners saying, what happened, and we didn't hold your feet to the fire and make sure that berm is in and done. And
So that berm is and will be, it is included in the grading and drainage plans for the construction drawings of the subdivision. So the county engineer, we will actually be required to, I guess, bond, and he will inspect and ensure that that is
that
complete.
the berm is installed and is
Yeah,
done.
it's not a landscaping item that occurs after homes are
I just
constructed.
know, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Like, there's always these little things like, well, yeah, we'll
Yeah,
get the approval, we
there's-
won't do it.
There's a few
Because that's
other
going to be a pretty
subdivisions-
good cost to get that all done right and put together, and
For sure.
so.
But yes, it is part of the construction drawings and would be inspected by the county engineer.
So I have a question along that line too. Maybe Josh, you can explain it, or somebody can. That, how long, okay, you fix this, you build that. 3 years from now, it breaks because it can't hold the water or it can't take care of the runoff. Who's responsible for that? Because maybe it wasn't built right.
The reservoir?
No,
The
I'm
berm.
talking about your berm, your wall.
If the
the
berm
berm?
fails,
Yeah, if the berm
I mean,
fails.
berm will be located in common area open space. So it would be the responsibility of the homeowners association to reconstruct it if.
And how long does your work, or the work that you guys do on it, how long is that?
1 year after final inspection is the warranty period that the bond is maintained by the county.
And so after
that's
that
correct.
1 year after it's been finalized?
After the final inspection, and so they may construct it at, well, it'll be part of the construction, and then they're responsible for making sure it's good for that warranty period, which lasts a year after the final inspection from the engineer.
So
Ultimately,
we
though,
maintain it for a year, but we could include, and we have included language in other sections of the CCNRs too. I mean, we can include language in the covenants, conditions, and restrictions for this subdivision that requires the maintenance of that berm,
For how?
proper elevations for its proper deflection of water in perpetuity, I
In
guess.
perpetuity?
Yeah.
Okay.
well,
I mean, it runs
ultimately,
with the land.
ultimately, it'd be the engineer who certified those plans if its failure is related to bad design.
So then it would be the engineer that
They
has to,
they carry the liability, and that's why they stamp their plans. That's why we rely on the
Oh.
engineers.
Were you talking about a dam, Phil? I thought you were talking
No,
about
I'm
just
talking-
general runoff that might wash it away. And then it
Yeah,
needs
that
to be
might
made-
wash away that 12-foot berm or whatever you're putting in.
Yeah, so annual maintenance would be
Or-
the homeowners association. If there was something catastrophic, it would be everybody's insurance company.
I mean, you just mentioned it. If the dam breaks, or if something happens there because of maybe it was something that was wrong with your development, and those development, I mean, you don't know about those things until what, 20 years later. We don't know about them. Highlands had this problem. It's been a lot more than that, and it was landfill or land that had been moved, and then they've tried to put it back up, and it, those homes are now not good. So I'm just worried about, okay, you've got the Cobble Creek Dam there and the reservoir, and
The applicant's engineer.
you're moving the stuff down below it.
Yeah,
The applicant's engineer has given us plans. The county engineer has reviewed them. He's signed off on them. For extra, to make sure that everybody has seen it is why we've added a stipulation that the dam board submit a letter saying that they accept the design of the new inundation area. So according to our code, they have met the requirements of our code in relation to the inundation line, but we're asking for an approval letter from the dam board to make sure that they approve the design as well. So
You gotta say
I believe the
reservoir
applicants
board.
covered all of their bases.
dam board is a technical term.
because we can be called that too.
It is technically the state dam engineer, dam safety, and we can get it's actually written into our report for this, an elevation that we are meeting and exceeding by a foot, but we can get a further supplemental letter that confirms the design conforms to that. And the state dam engineer is the one who signed off and certified Cobble Creek Reservoir as well. So
Okay.
we've met the requirements of the local jurisdiction as well as the state for the construction of that. No. You're not the
Hey, Dad,
authorized
you can't talk.
representative. Yeah, I mean, under the geological hazards map for this area, Cobble Creek Reservoir is actually an asset where it acts as a detention basin collecting water as it comes down what the engineers call the young alluvial fan, which is the old shorelines of Bonneville from hundreds of thousands of years ago. So the reservoir is actually a good asset to this location. Otherwise, that canyon has the ability to wash out quite a bit more, and that young alluvial fan washes all of the fines away. So
Okay. We need to change
that
the name.
reservoir is filled via pipeline actually to full. So in the event that we see major runoff potential, we cut the pipeline off actually. So and we start draining it so that it has a larger detention area. So if it needed to be empty, it could be empty within I think 48 hours.
So where would that be coming out at? Have you got that designed in the plan?
It was in the Cobble Creek Reservoir, the design plans for that, how quickly you can do it.
Okay.
I guess my only point was we actually control the larger majority of water that goes into it than what is contributed in the natural drainage. So if we needed to, we could cut off the pipeline so that no additional water is going into it and create a bigger detention area, which provides actually further safety for these ponds downstream.
Okay.
Sorry, that was a long way around.
So I do have another question. I know, Josh, we had kind of an email going around. It was about, there's a letter from, this is about water, about, Lee's Market and sorry, I've been kind of in meetings all afternoon and whatnot and wasn't able to get totally caught up, but there's a line in this letter from Lee's, and sorry, I got to look it up on my phone email, where it says the Meadow Park East project will reduce its lot count from 29 to 14 to free up total of 15 ERUs. And so if somebody could clarify, I'm trying to figure out how we went from 29 to 14 in this letter back to 24.
2023, December 2023, the will serve.
Yeah, December 11th, 2023.
Yeah,
Yeah, December 11th, 2023. from Cottonwood Mutual Water Company. And so, again, I bounced from one meeting to the other, and I know that Josh responded to an email. I didn't have time to catch up. So I think just for everybody here, I think that's kind of a question of
Sure.
the water kind of went away to supply Lee's, but now it's back. I mean, that's what I'm getting out of this letter, is that they're going to divert the water. Park Meadow East project will reduce its lot count from 29 to 14 to free up a total of 15 ERUs, and the Rollins Ranch tank will be used for the project required water storage. So,
Yeah, so in 2023, so Gardner Development has a storage capacity agreement with Cottonwood Mutual Water Company, and we have available source and storage within that company. We had allotted source and storage for multiple different projects, and at the time that Lee's came up, we had allotted all of our water for future projects. And so what we asked the water company to do was to reduce this phase 5 down to 14 in their general ledger. We mutually keep track of where our source and storage capacity is. Reduce the phase 5, let Lee's utilize the water. Since that time, other projects have not come to fruition, so there is now available source and storage within the ledger for the capacity that we have with that company. So there is a conflict between those two will serve letters. One says 14, the old one. The new one says 24. You can make it a condition of approval that I get an updated will serve letter. I tried to get one today, but the manager for Cottonwood Mutual Water Company is
okay,
back
I did,
east.
in my very brief,
Yeah.
looking real quick, I did see that. And I think just for
And he
everybody
can
involved,
clarify
I
that
think
in a new will serve.
and I think that's something that would be crucial, just to make sure that all the T's are crossed, I's are dotted, that people understand that, because we talk about a development didn't come to fruition. Well, in 5 years, maybe it does. Well, now where's that? Well, we already had the water. See, it was on the ledger, but does that make sense?
Yeah,
I just want to make
and
sure
that
that,
ledger's for like future potential projects, nothing that we presented to the county. So it should have been an internal bookkeeping. I'm not exactly sure why it made it onto a will serve, but be that as it may, the water company can update or submit a new will serve that clarifies that distinction between the two will serve letters.
and I think that would
That'd
be
be good.
very
fine.
important. I think that'd be important.
Yeah, if you'll just make that a condition of approval, because I do need to bring this subdivision back for a final approval.
Sorry, there's a car.
If you make it a condition of approval, I will address that when I submit for final.
Okay, thank you.
So I have another question. When you're these type of lots that you have, if somebody wanted to put a raised bed for gardening or flowers or whatever on the property, can they? Or is it out to the homeowners?
Property outside the footprint of the home is owned and controlled by the homeowners association. So once everybody moves in, if the homeowners association grants them permission for a raised flower bed or something like that, it could be accomplished in the future, but as of right now, all of the landscaping is owned and controlled by the homeowners association. The only distinction to that is in front of each of the unit, there is a limited common area. A limited common area means only that adjacent unit can utilize, and that's the driveways. So somebody from unit A couldn't go park on unit B's driveway. He has a limited use of that driveway exclusive to that unit. Outside of the driveways, everything else is common area.
Okay.
And which we have actually found to be quite popular. People don't like the landscaping Saturdays anymore. It's been one of the main selling points actually, is that there's no yard wetlands.
Okay. So could that be put in? I just want to make sure that the people that buy these are going to know.
Oh yeah, that exists in the CCNRs for previous 68. We plan to bring that forward, and it will exist in the CCNRs for these 24 units as well.
Okay. Do we need to make that a condition of the motion?
Like what condition?
Did they bring up?
That the homeowners association takes care of everything except those areas that you.
So I don't know that we would make it, well, I was just gonna say from a, and maybe Josh can speak to this too, but from what the county can require, if it's not required by our code, we can't put it in as a condition. But, so like a will serve, that is required, so that can be a condition, is that we get that updated will serve for the capacity. But the CCNRs are a private document that the county's not a party to, and if it's not in our code that allows us to require it, then we can't add it as a condition.
Okay.
Not only that, but when you have a subdivision that has open space, a tract that's going to be maintained by an HOA, they're already going to be required to submit the CCNRs to us to review. So there's no reason to add that as a condition. It'll happen anyway.
Okay. All right.
Any
Is
other-
this the last one of the phase 5, or is there more?
This is the final application for phase 5.
Okay. Just trying to control how many homes are going in.
Yeah, 92. Between the two projects.
Otherwise
Sorry.
they're gonna take over
Not in
your
this
yard.
one. In this one, it's 24.
Raylene says, or Commissioner Blocker says you can take over the edge of hers and build another section of 2 or 3.
No, I didn't.
I was like, wow.
Not say that.
I was being facetious.
We have any other questions for Skylar?
No.
Okay.
For staff?
I
have
move
any.
we approve the Park Meadow East Cottonwoods Phase 5A-5 preliminary plat application number 25.009, allowing for a 24-lot subdivision of land located approximately east of the intersection of Park Meadow Drive and Kingston Drive in unincorporated Morgan County, based on the following findings and with the conditions listed in the staff report dated October 21st, 2025, and the following conditions: that it'll be contingent upon an updated water will serve letter. Is that right?
I have a motion by Commissioner Blocker.
Was that the only ones? Conditions?
What was that?
I say I want to make sure that was all the conditions.
You can say that plus any conditions listed in the staff report,
Yeah.
which I think you
I
did.
think
didn't you?
she had that.
All right. That's good then.
Is that a second?
I'll second it.
So I have a motion by Commissioner Blocker and a second by Commissioner Fackrell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Matt? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, it's after 6 o'clock and we can have our public hearing. We're doing good here. So, the Honorable Leslie Hyde.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm here seeking approval of Resolution CR 2555. This resolution will be making department adjustments, fund balance adjustments, grants received for the library, opioid, public works, and tourism, other fund adjustments, and fund balance transfers to other funds. The fund balance adjustments have all been before you in previous meetings and are noted on the resolution. Do you have any questions for me?
I have to say that having these in other meetings being pre-approved has been super awesome. So thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for your
Do you
work
all
on
agree?
this.
Yes, you want
Yes.
to keep doing
Yeah,
it?
that was
Yes.
good.
We've been doing, it's been
Okay.
wonderful.
So,
Good.
so a question I have then, on this, the Cog Alley project, was that the one over here in the city or the one we just?
That's in the city.
Okay, all right. So the one we did today, we have to do one for the final budget adjustment,
Yeah,
right?
which will be your last meeting in December.
Okay.
No, because we already
no.
budgeted 400,000 to come from
Already
the fund.
budgeted.
Oh, we had already
Okay.
budgeted it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I move that we open the public hearing.
I have a motion.
I'll second it.
So I have a motion by Commissioner Newton and a second by Commissioner Fackrell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We will now open the public hearing. Do we have any public comments? Seeing none,
Mr. Chair, I'll move that we close the public hearing and reconvene the public meeting.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Newton, and a second by Commissioner Fackrell. All in favor?
Aye.
We will reconvene the commission meeting.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve CR 25-55, third quarter adjustments to the 2025 county budget.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Newton and a second by Commissioner Fackrell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thanks, Leslie. Okay, so now we've got the number 7, Morgan County Board of Equalization, so we need a motion to open BOE.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, I move that we adjourn the public meeting and reconvene as a Board of Equalization.
Second it.
I have a motion by Commissioner Newton, a second by Commissioner Blocker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're now in Board of Equalization.
Penny, do you? So this, essentially, the Utah State Tax Commission is now recommending that the homesteader credits that the commission approved in their commission meeting and resolution CR 2552 last commission meeting also be approved by the Board of Equalization. So this is the same exact action, just through the BOE. The end.
Okay.
I don't think we need any more discussion on it unless somebody else is dying to talk.
No, like I said, we discussed it
Yes,
last meeting, and
We did.
so,
So, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve. Now, would this be a CR? It's not really a CR, it's a BOE, right? Oh, okay, CR 25-01-BOE.
I'll second it.
okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Newton and a second by Commissioner Fackrell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
Look for a motion to,
Well, Mr. Chair, I move that we adjourn as the Morgan County BOE and reconvene the County Commission public meeting.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Newton and a second by Commissioner Fackrell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are now reconvene public meeting. Okay. Number 8.
So every year, the commission appoints a Morgan County official to represent at the Utah County's Indemnity Pool meeting. This year it'll be held November 21, 2025. I also need an alternate. I believe last year you were an alternate and Blaine was
I wasn't. It was Matt.
Matt.
Yeah. But I wouldn't mind doing it.
No recommendations onto. I do believe it just says it as the official Morgan County representative. So I just need some names so I can get this to them.
I'm unavailable that evening, so.
Okay, Mike's out.
Can you explain to me what this is?
So the Utah County Indemnity Pool is our insurance. And since we share liability with all the other counties around us for things like vehicle insurance, property insurance, our unemployment insurance, workman's comp, etc. This is their annual meeting where they make decisions, and so every county that participates in USIP has a voting seat.
And in reality, all you do is you get to vote. You don't really discuss much unless you have a question.
One thing to remember, that is USAC as well.
It's held during USAC?
It's at the same time. USAC is 20th, 21st.
Yeah. So is it part of it?
No, it's
No, they
separate.
hold it separate, but it's usually just the evening of.
Yeah, it's
They'll
the
have a
evening.
dinner and a meeting.
So,
Yeah.
so it's in the evening, not during the day, so,
Yeah.
okay. I was just a little concerned, like, anybody going to USAC.
It doesn't
wouldn't be able to-
overlap. They make sure that they coordinate.
Okay.
Because they attend the USAC
Yep,
stuff
I was
as
like-
well.
It says 11 a.m.
Yeah, it's
on
11
Friday.
a.m.
Oh,
We had
well,
11
then
a.m.
they've
on
changed
Friday.
it.
Jordan Commons in Sandy.
Friday.
So it's in South, or Sandy or whatever versus Salt Lake. Because USAC is at the
Is
Grand
at
America.
Grand America.
So we need to keep that in mind. If we're gonna, have a,
So that means her and I are going to the, and Matt is. We're going to, are we all are this
I'm at
time?
USAC.
Okay, to USAC?
The only one not going
Mike's
is Mike.
not.
Oh, you're taking
I'm
off.
going.
Okay.
Mike's not going.
Okay. So we could divide and conquer if you want.
Go to this one.
I think it can be any elected official. I don't know
Yeah, it could
if
be
Leslie
the
wants
other.
to go down. I went down last year. It was, I mean, it's always nice to kind of just chat with USIP people, and
Yeah, it
I
is.
think we watched a movie which
Was it a good
Like
one?
it was
a-
okay. I don't know.
Like Batman or something? or-
No, it was like Captain America, but he was like it was a Santa show with Chris Evans in it. Okay, yeah. I mean, it was.
Does that
It's not like
interest
seeing
you
him
again?
as. I think I could go down, but if maybe Leslie wants to, or
So are you,
we still need an alternate then.
I don't care.
The only person I heard back from was Corey.
That he would go.
He said he could if he had to.
You'd have to take his
Are
dog.
you gonna be at USAC?
You
Oh,
make
he's
him
not
the
at USAC.
Let's, or we could make him the primary, and I could be the alternate.
That'd
And
be
if he
good.
decides not to go, I can make sure I'm there.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move that we designate our county sheriff, Corey Stark, as our USIP representative, with our county attorney, Garrett Smith, as the alternate for the November 21st, 2025 USIP annual meeting.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Commissioner Newton, a second by Commissioner Blocker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Number 9. Oh, Matt was going to do this, wasn't he? That's fun.
Heavy lies the crown.
What's that?
Heavy lies the crown.
Yeah, good times. Okay, so this is about this is Matt's letter, I think, about the IFAC grant that was being applied for. I have a little bit of understanding on it. I was kind of bouncing back between everybody about doing a study with the interchange and the Mountain Green connections and the kind of that area. What's that? Oh, it's real on here. Perfect. We could take, you had time. Now we've gotten to that IFAC grant. If you'd like to kind of, I know you and Matt is sick, and so you probably make more sense of it than I will.
Commissioner Wilson's sick?
Yeah,
He's never been sick in his life.
just sick of meetings.
Today's the day.
Is he sick and tired?
Ask him.
He
He's
was
probably
here.
online.
Online.
Build Better America has an opportunity to get grants. And when we were in our work session, we kind of informally discussed it, but I didn't follow the proper process. That was my fault. But we went ahead and helped the county write the grant, and we submitted the grant in to the federal government. Their federal government's concern was the county doesn't own the ground where where I-84 interchange will go. The county was making the grant. So UDOT we were working with and saying, UDOT owns that ground, the county owns all the roads around it, and so it'll help facilitate a program for the Mountain Green area for infrastructure, roads, and other things. It's okay that UDOT doesn't agree with everything because their process is a little different, but the grant's gone in under the name of Morgan County. It can't come from a developer, which it's not. It's under the name of the Morgan County. So the purpose of that is to get some program dollars to spend in programming that interchange area, the Mountain Green area, and what's best for that area, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's trails, parks, whatever it is. But the real key is if you are awarded the $1 million grant, then it also puts you in line for additional grants that would be given through Build Better America, in that you could then request for other things that could help facilitate some of the key elements of the ongoing master planning of Mountain Green. So I'm here to apologize to Kate because I didn't follow the process correctly. Should have had this vote before we submitted anything in. But at the same time, there were some deadlines. We met those deadlines. And so we're here standing saying, whatever you want to do, that's fine. But the grant.
And it's a no match.
It's a no match.
He's
Hey,
back.
he's better. He came from his deathbed. Yeah, it's a no match grant. And if they award it, great. If they don't, we tried. Now, if they do award it, then it could open up some other doors for us and some other things that we would work closely with the county and making sure that we could get. So apologize, my fault, not following the process. But Matt made me do, no, I'm just kidding. He didn't. Questions, concerns, thoughts?
When did they make the decision?
We got an email, okay, when was it, last week? That indicated we were
I did not receive that email.
selected for shortlisting,
I think you sent it to Matt.
and so we'll see where it goes.
Nice.
Good. I think it'll be good for the county to have that, and I appreciate you going for it, even though we went around it the wrong way.
Well, we should have done it more
Should have done it through.
consistently in the process.
And I agree with that because I do think anyone acting on behalf of the county, it is important to just have that authority beforehand. I gave the example, even though the commission had approved me to work on opioid funds in the past, that didn't grant me authority for all future ones. So I brought it back and I said, there's more of these coming. Do I have authority for these opioid funds to sign? And I'll just let you know. And so I've sent those emails. So I think, you know, even as a county elected official, who has autonomy, I couldn't act on behalf of the county. So I do think that we need to make that clear going forward, that this isn't establishing a precedent. It's,
Agreed.
like you said, acknowledging that there's a process and we're going to try to correct and follow that forward. I think up to the million. So Janet pulled some research together too. And what I was just going to point out is up to $1 million, there is no match, but over $1 million, there's a 50% non-federal match. So I would like to look at that a little bit further. Kate and I did meet with UDOT today, and there was some hesitancy, which I wonder if maybe we just need to get UDOT in a meeting or a work session or something to make sure that we can partner with that, because we don't own all the assets, which is one of the requirements of the grant, is that we have to own it, but it's kind of jointly owned because there's
Other roads that come into.
yeah, so we have roads, UDOT has roads, which it requires, if we move forward, we need their full participation. One of the things that, oh boy, it's the first day I met him, but with UDOT, he had gone and looked into the IFAC, and one of the things that he thought might be really hard for UDOT to agree with is, as this moves forward, and if it's under the county's name, it talks about the county taking over the asset. And so to have the funding to get where we want to go is a really great thing, but also to take on more roads that UDOT maintains, that's something that we need to think long and hard about, I would
Agreed.
say as well.
Agreed.
And so I don't know what the next step is, but understanding what's the consequences of pursuing this, and if we did, what is that agreement with UDOT, so that we have it all in writing beforehand and we're all on the same page, so that if there is something that is a surprise, we're not pointing the finger. We kind of know where we're going, and that we were all on board from the beginning and understood it all. But you might have more insight, because I think you've researched it a little bit more than we have. We're kind of playing catch up right now, and so
No, I think,
those are just some of
I think your point's,
the worries that I have as the.
yeah, I think your point's well founded, and in that UDOT becomes more of a partner in that process. Region 1's probably not up to speed as much as they should, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Let's see what happens with this first go around, and then I think we can engage UDOT in a more meaningful discussion. My discussions have been at a little higher level. And it's okay. Region 1's who we fit into, and so let's see where that goes. But I
I guess
think
my
right
question
now,
would be for this first round,
yeah,
do we have to certify that we are the owner or have a partnership agreement?
no,
Because
nothing
that's what I read
has-
from one of the emails that,
has to be. We corrected that and changed that so that this is just Morgan County asking for roads that it connects into UDOT. We're not,
so it doesn't affect any UDOT roads with the current application?
no. So right now, it's gone in to the federal government. Whether the federal government's funding any of these nowadays is another question. But I think we tried the process. We should have followed your process before we submitted, and that's my mistake. So,
I guess my concern, and it's, I'm not the decision maker, but if I'm advising, understanding what we're committing to before we correct the mistake
Right.
is important from my perspective, because if we make a vote today that we want to pursue it, not realizing that we're, potentially taking over, we don't have an agreement with UDOT if it does expand. I guess I'm not aware of what the application is for and how it was curtailed.
it basically was right there. It's nothing more than the ground surrounding what's happening with the interchange and what's happening with the issues of the roads and what happens now with the Olympics and some of the things that are coming. So we're not in any way, if you go to the charts, who's controlling this?
Me.
Oh, can you go right here? So the advisory procurement, the county analysis, the modeling, if we get to this point, then yes, we're gonna have to sit down with UDOT and say, okay, how do we get into some of these discussions of public engagement, which they would be part of. But we would have the money there to sit down and decide how we best cooperate. And you can keep going, capacity training, implementing the roadmaps going forward, and indirect costs or the time of any of the people that you assign to it. So it's pretty what's the word?
Ambiguous.
Thank you. Can I buy a vowel? And so it was just to capture this, the large investment, supports the value and the money analysis and the modeling and so forth. But at the same time, we've been working, for months trying to get Mountain Green right. And so we just thought this would be some additional help that could come in if it was awarded with no matching funds that we required. But I think your point, Garrett, is correct.
Well, and I haven't reviewed this. I was looking through the packet and I don't know where this one came from or if it came to me and I just
It was
missed it.
in the last meeting when I brought forth everything and was like,
Okay.
this is what was sent to me to upload, but I didn't upload it because I don't have authority to upload it.
Got it. Okay.
So I know
I
you've
can resend
indicated
it.
there's no financial match, but this does indicate that we will essentially be giving 850 hours of county staff time to the project, which is a cost to us, whether direct or indirect.
Right. So it would, again, come out of what funding the grant that would be funding that. You can see there's some costs there.
But that is in-kind resources, right? The 75,000 is in-kind from the 850 hours.
Yeah, correct. Yes, 75,000.
So that is our match. We do have a match, it's just in-kind.
Yeah, but I think you could still use some of the grant money to pay some of those costs. I think what we ought to do is not necessarily obligate the county tonight as much as let's see where this falls in and get any kind of updates, keep you up to speed with what's going on, keep Kate up to speed. And then if we get closer and awarded something, then I think we can come back and say, okay, based on that county, how do we want to do this? Because I'm not here saying we are going to win anything. I'm just saying that it's been submitted. So rightfully or wrongfully so. Wrongfully, I guess, would be the real term. So I appreciate Kate putting it on the agenda because I think it needed to be talked about, but at the same time, let's see what happens. I don't know.
So Commissioner Wilson put it on the agenda.
Yeah. And he was, I think, emailing everybody trying to make sure that we were all doing the right thing. And then I realized that I hadn't followed the protocol process.
We do have a commission meeting next week too, if you want a presentation or.
No, I think what we ought to do is just wait until we see whether or not we get it.
Yeah, no way.
And then at that point,
Obligated.
as long as we all agree upon him continuing the process, but
Well, and I think that that's my worry is if we're applying and we get it, have we already committed without laying the groundwork? And that's what I'm not sure. And maybe that's where,
Good question.
if we do come back in a week, that allows some time to see what we are committed. If we do approve it, if applying commits us and we're not ready for that commitment, then I think that we would
Withdraw.
withdraw and not
okay.
correct the
And
the
I can reach
process.
out and see what that would be so we could work together and.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, sounds good.
I
to
mean,
me.
even if you're awarded, you don't have to accept it, correct?
Well,
Yeah, but then they don't.
It's
I
the
think that's
county,
what
they-
Garrett's concern is that
They
we
have our direct
submitted.
deposit information.
Yeah, so I think we ought to clarify, and I can do that.
And I think some grants may be like that, but then if we apply for another grant, they're like, well, we're not going to consider Morgan because we gave it to them last time and they withdrew. And so there's kind of that,
It just looks bad.
yeah, just the play good in the sandbox so that they know that if they award it, that, oh, well, Morgan, they always make their match, they follow through. So,
So I guess where I'm confused is it's already been submitted.
but I think that because it wasn't submitted with authority,
Right.
that's not a reflection on the county of saying, you know, hey, we submitted and then we withdrew. We just say that actually wasn't a county authorized submittal, and so we're just withdrawing the application. And if we did it ahead of time, then it wouldn't be that they've awarded it to us and we've waited and seen. And so I think that's why the sooner the better to see, do we, as a commission, is it a vote to say, yeah, we want to pursue this because there's a great opportunity. The match is something that we agree with. The partnership with UDOT is going to work. What does that look like? Maintenance going forward, kind of seeing down the path a little bit further.
I agree.
So, Mr. Chair, I move that we postpone this item until our next meeting, which is a week from today.
I'll second it.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, because we have an election.
We
Well,
did.
We would have had an election the first week in November, and Leslie didn't want to share her staff.
Okay, I'll quickly get on this and then report
Yeah.
back to Kate and Garrett. So, thank you.
Thank you.
So I have a motion by Commissioner Newton and Bailey, is that?
Yeah.
And a second by Commissioner Blocker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. So that was next week.
Okay, yes. So this one's weird. So James Dixon, who's the Director of Community Grants, and so our head lead at the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity for our $200,000 grant that we get every year for economic development. He came and presented to the CEO board March and had mentioned that a commissioner should not be a voting member on the board. And I'm confident we asked at that time if that was a requirement or if that was just a recommendation. So we have since put in for our grant at the end of July, and now it's being held up for disbursement because Commissioner Blocker, that's part of her portfolio, and she's a voting member on CEO. So then he sent this statute. Oh, I thought I put it in the packet.
You did.
Oh, okay, there it is. But I said, and I pushed back and said, well, it doesn't go into effect until November. So I feel like when we applied for the grant, we were in compliance. And so then we had a conference call about it, and it's essentially their hill to die on. So
let's fix it so we can get the grant.
I was like, I really like Commissioner Blocker, but $200,000
Well, she
a
ought to
year is a
still
lot
be
of
there.
money.
So you're not worth 200,000.
She ought to still be there, but I don't think she should be a voting member. And that also goes to, it says an appointed officer. I'm wondering if Kate should be a voting member also at that point, just because of that same thing where she's advising us.
We have to have a county rep.
Yeah, we better have a county rep. Leslie can go and be it. I mean,
Yes, it's 8 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday.
every Wednesday, or we could have Tina go. Okay, I know Debbie's awake at that time.
Ellen wants to go.
I don't see anything that.
I mean, I think
prohibits Kate from doing it. Why not have her
She's
do
not
it?
an elected official.
she's an appointed, well, that's true. She's an appointed officer. It says a position of employment with the county, except as special employee. And appointed officer includes so forth and so forth. So that is my only concern, is if that's the case, I mean, she's elected, but she should be there anyway because it's her portfolio. But we as elected officials or appointed officials, I don't know that we should have either one of us be any of us. I think we need to have somebody from outside, an elected or a county person, be there, and I mean a county employee, and have somebody like Tina, if she wanted to be, or
That's not
or
a county
Dave.
employee.
Well, I know she's not an employee. That's what I'm saying. It's somebody outside of a county employee or ourselves. And it doesn't have to be Tina. I'm just using her as an example. Could be Lilia too.
So I presented to him this list and he had no problem with it. I said, if we changed it to this with the terms, and he's like, nope, that's great.
Yeah, but that puts Raylene back in there.
No,
No, it
it's
doesn't.
on the screen.
No?
Oh,
Puts Kate as the county representative. We still have the same city representatives, school board, workforce.
And I have never missed a meeting.
Yeah, I think you're great on there.
I'm just worried about that code. I mean, I don't mind if
Actually,
you're there, and I don't mind if you're
I
a
need to
voting member.
change that. Well, no, that's correct. The reason mine
I
doesn't
just
say
wanna follow the
24 to
code.
23 to 27 is I didn't start till.
I'm good with what you have listed there.
Is that a motion, Mike?
Yeah, the code does allow.
And Commissioner Fackrell, I think it's okay if you discuss through the mic, just for open meetings. I know that,
Okay,
I think it's okay to discuss through the mic. It's fine.
A discussion on the code.
the code.
So he's concerned that the definition of appointed officer
As it states in number 2.
means those are people that cannot be on the board, but I'm seeing it as that's the
Almost the
definition
opposite.
of appointed officer that can be on the board, and then appointed officer does not include an elected official.
Right. That's the way I would read it
That's
as
how
well.
I'm
So
reading it.
appointed officer, it doesn't include an elected official. An elected official could not be an appointed officer to serve
Right.
on this board.
But everything else is fine.
So Leslie's off the hook.
8
So
o'clock
zero.
Wednesday.
Yeah, but,
Mr.
but-
Chair, I
but
move-
Katie's not.
So I think that they do have to represent the county in some way, and maybe that's the clarification you're looking for, because it says it means an individual appointed to a statutory office or a position of employment with a county except a special employee. And then it says it includes an individual serving on a special, regular, or full-time committee, agency, or board, regardless of whether the individual is compensated for the individual services. So there's other people in the county that aren't employees of the county, but they serve on our boards. And so if they do, they could technically be the appointed officer, but then it says appointed officer does not include an elected official. So none of the commission, myself, Leslie, any of the electeds would not qualify as an appointed officer that could serve.
And just there's two other changes on this from the previous, and one of them is we changed Justin Reese's term so that we had that 50-50 term, and Mandy Webb replaced Stacy Netz Clark as the alternate by recommendation of CEO at the last commission meeting, or at the last meeting we had a quorum, because we didn't have a quorum last one.
So on this, you're saying we've got one member of the public, so who's
This is
gonna take, who owns the business, so who else is gonna do it?
Justin.
No,
It's still-
it's still Justin.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just he used to have a 25-29 term, but then that made us 60-40 on 25-29 terms versus 23-27 terms. And that's what originally, there were two pushbacks, and that was we didn't have 50-50 turnover, and we had a commissioner as a voting member on the board. So I don't want you to think like that's the only thing I changed. So I did change Justin Reese's term to be 23-27, so that we're 50-50 on our terms. And Mandy Webb, by recommendation of the CEO board in its August meeting, recommended Mandy Webb to replace Stacy Netz Clark, being that she now works for the county, well, in the county building. And then I did change the wording to match exactly what the governing document stated, as far as at least one county representative, including all of the typos.
So we've got two business people on the board is all, and this is economic development.
That's what the governing
The
document,
government, and on the state code on it, it says that there's a minimum of 5. And I don't have it in front of me.
I do, hold on.
You wanna pull it up? Doesn't mean we have to stick with 5, because we're over that now. I just want more business representation on it.
And I hear you, that's just not how the ordinance that created the board was written.
Right, and that was back in 2020.
And if that's the case, then that needs to be a separate change to the ordinance that created the board, that shouldn't be done through this discussion or through this resolution.
So this is the resolution, so this is what's required by the state. And then this is what the commission added in addition to the requirements of the state. So that's what I've placed on the actual wording.
Okay, that was done in 2020?
Correct.
If you want to talk about changing this, that'd have to be done in a different
Right.
discussion, in a different item.
Right, I know.
So,
That's
Mr.
fine,
Chair,
I'm fine with that.
I move that we approve resolution CR 25-57.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Commissioner Newton, a second by Commissioner Blocker. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
I do have one request, that the person that has that as a portfolio does attend.
She's, the only one she's missed is when she's in
I
Italy.
just want to make sure that she continues, even though she's not a
Yeah,
a
I mean, we're
voting
not,
member.
we didn't make a motion to change her portfolio.
Okay.
Okay, Vaughn wanted me to circle back on this. Recap, in the budget meeting, we found out that about $240,000 of what is charged to our non-departmental services not otherwise classified line was credit card service fees. So people coming in and using their card for utility bills, for the DMV, for their taxes, and the county is eating those fees. So I reached out to the card service provider. I will say in the nicest way, they were super unhelpful. And I have tried to reach out to another vendor, and I reached out to USAC to get a vendor list, and apparently they don't have one. So if essentially our current one, and this is not how I'm used to this in any government, county government I've ever worked in, the current credit card provider essentially is saying, well, the county just picks a percent. I said, what does that mean? Because I'm used to, that's what you're bidding is, we're gonna bid 2.6%, but e-checks are $1.50, what have you. And Discover is like an extra, what have you. But they're saying, no, the county just picks a percentage. So we recommend 3%. And I said, so if someone comes in and pays their $1,000 tax bill and then they pay the 3%, they're paying all of that to us, and then we're turning around and using that 3% to pay them back for the fee instead of it going directly to them. So it would still be a budgetary line. And on top of that, if the fee ends up being, because Discover and Amex is higher than Visa and MasterCard, if it ends up being a high, and debit cards are cheaper than credit cards, if the fee ends up being for that transaction 4%, then we've lost 1%. If it ends up being, at the end of the day, 1.8%, then we've just charged them an extra 1.2% for no reason. But we have they said it would take about 4 to 5 weeks to put this into motion, and tax bills are going out. So I do not know what you would like me to. I don't feel comfortable just Hail Marying a percentage and charging it to our taxpayers. What we usually said in counties before that I've worked in is it is a service fee, a convenience fee. You are paying for the convenience of swiping your card rather than writing a check. You are still more than welcome to write a check, pay cash, there's no fee. However, like credit cards charge us, we're paying it on the back end to the tune of almost $250,000 a year. And so if you think about it, we're essentially inflating the tax rate to cover those costs. I'm happy to put the 3% in and just see how it goes for tax season, because that is our biggest chunk.
I know the school district does the 3%.
So does the state of Utah.
I would just rather they do it the right way and just,
They take it, we never see it.
and we never see it.
Yeah.
It shows up as 2 transactions on there. Like I swipe my debit card for my
That'd
$2,800
be
in
nice.
property taxes. And it comes out $2,800 to Morgan County and $360 to insert service company.
So I think that's how the DMV works, because I just relicensed a trailer and a truck and I have multiple charges. I'm like, it took me a minute, and that's what kind of
Yeah.
brought up there's that fee, the state's charging it. So I look at $250,000, I mean, that's half an ambulance a year. That's a huge chunk of money, and that's taxpayer dollars.
That's
as well.
more than that. It's like,
What's that?
That's like 5/7 of an ambulance.
I thought the ambulance was like 400,000.
320.
Oh, okay. So I was off.
It's close
And I
to
can
one
buy
a
a
year.
fancier.
Regardless,
I
that's
mean-
a ton of money.
But I mean, it's just, to me, it's like, that is a lot of taxpayer dollars that we're using to fund people having that convenience.
Correct.
That we're not able to, provide things. So
I mean,
it was
one
actually
way-
when I went through my last statement, I'm like, I remember we discussed this, and so I reached out to Kate. I'm like, where are we on this? What's our options? Because that's a lot of money.
So Cindy, part of what was holding it up, when I had, because I called her and I said, I need you to call me and speak English, because this big long email you sent me, and I speak math very well, does not translate into any type of English that I understand. She specifically stated it exempt, like we couldn't use this for utility billing. So I had Cindy reach out to the utility invoicing, and she just got her response back Monday. So I haven't read it. to
Because
be
I remember
honest, but yeah.
that I saw that and it was like, there's certain
It's
things that
so
we can't.
minute of,
Right. I think the big thing is, property taxes, things like that, where they come in and it's $3,000 or $4,000 and they run their card. It's like I tried to use my Cabela's card to buy a truck and they told me no. Think of the points I could get. I'd get like
and that's
7
always
free
what
rifles.
cracked me up is like, I'm,
They told
the
me
people
no.
that would come in like, well, I want it on my card because I get 1% cash back. I'm like, but I'm charging
you 3.
3%.
Right.
You know what? That's your checkbook
Whatever,
that
dude.
you have to
Yeah.
reconcile.
But I think even if it was on there for this year, even though we're kind of crunching it, a lot of people would avoid that by getting the check.
Right.
And then we can put it out to get a service for the next, I mean, that's just a thought,
Yeah,
but
I
there's
mean,
something
I think we're
to.
better off doing something for
Right.
this year than footing the bill for $200,000.
And it was on my Q1 list because we have, I think, 4 or 5 active credit card contracts, whether they're actually current but they're in use. Because we have the rifle range, we've got utility, we've got taxes, we have DMVs. And we have one for the recorder's office. So, but of course, can we track down the contracts for these? No. So that was already on our list of things to do, but just to at least get us going for tax season, I just didn't feel comfortable picking a percentage that we're gonna charge back to taxpayers.
So is it different for a debit card versus the credit cards, right?
Yes, but
Okay.
like a Visa debit's different than a MasterCard debit is different than a Visa credit, and then like Visa credit Amex is a different, or Visa
Yeah, they're a
credit
lot higher.
Amazon is a different rate than
Right.
like
So-
Chase Visa Freedom, and so it's like a 17 page, and that's why usually they will ask for 2 years of your last transaction data, and they'll generate what an average fee is, and that's how they bid for your fee. But they're like, yeah, we don't do that. Like,
They were well big.
so we just get to pick a percent.
So,
If we really want to tell.
So we
how
could
much is a
like
credit
do
card.
5, and then we could
yeah,
really
I
screw
think
our
we ought to,
taxpayers.
instead of, I mean, I don't like paying any extra taxes, period. And I don't think I should have to for somebody else's convenience.
Correct. And I will say, one of the things he asked and should probably be stated is most of the mortgage companies, they pay us through an electronic funds transfer. There's 3 major companies that all the mortgage companies broker with, and they'll send us one electronic funds transfer for 8,000 parcels. And so there's no fee because it's electronic funds transfer. But we also don't want to get in the habit of giving our private citizens our electronic funds transfer information. So we usually only do allow those EFTs for like state grants, federal grants, and our like, yeah, SOTA reports, SOTA report money, and those 3 mortgagers or mortgage broker companies. So
So it looks like Weber County Treasurer's Office, their fee is 2.5%. And then if you're using a debit card, it's a $4 service charge, flat.
I know with the state, when I pay things with a credit card, it's $3 plus whatever. If I use that method. So I just do ACH. There's no charge that way.
and because most of those companies, your ACH gets converted into one giant check of everyone ACHing in the same billing period and sent to us all together. So it's not like we get
So-
every individual check for every person on their, that's doing their e-check on their banking app. We get one.
Okay, so if it goes out on the tax statement, or will it go out on the tax?
Will not,
It will
tax
not.
statement's already out.
Okay, so that means, how do we notify the public? Just when they come in,
Come in
we
to pay.
made the rule, okay, you use your credit card, it's this percentage. Is that correct?
We could put it on the website, we can put signs up.
Okay.
Yes,
And
Lily
that's
has put
for
it on Morgan
all,
Moms.
that ought to be for all credit
Can we
cards.
put that on
we-
Morgan Moms?
Well, that's that's what we're trying to figure out, is because we do take card fees for the rifle range, which obviously I have no problem with that. But there is a question of the legality of attaching that to a utility bill. So that's what we're trying to navigate that. So I can 1000% do it for property taxes. And it's a completely different company that we use for the rifle range, but we can get with them on that. But the rifle range, again, is de minimis to the.
I think anytime that my personal opinion is if we use the credit card, it's a convenience, pay for it.
Well, I think a lot of businesses you go to, it'll say right on there, 3% added if you run as a credit card.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I think we've kind of gotten used to, there's going to be a fee for that, you know.
Just checking, most of the counties are charging 2.5%. I think
You guys
I'm
can,
probably
that again,
comfortable
that's
there.
why I was like, I'm not picking.
Whatever.
That's fine. So do we need
Make a motion on it.
So
need a
I
motion.
will say, thank you so much for all the work in ClearGov, because I thought budget went beautifully using it, and we probably wouldn't have caught that without
Yeah.
having ClearGov and Casella up live and checking, okay, what are we spending all this money
Like,
on?
where'd
So
that chunk
thanks
go?
for all your work on that. I know it was a lot, and it gave you some gray hairs, but almost done.
Job, bless.
Great budget session. Okay, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve a credit card service fee charge of 2.5% on transactions done with the county. I guess that'd be transactions excluding utility transactions at this
Yeah.
point.
So why would we want to?
What's that?
Why would we want to exclude the garbage?
You can't.
Because
You
right
can't
now,
charge a
we don't
fee
know
on
if we legally can.
Why don't we?
There's something in,
There is a stipulation in that
yeah, there was a
email.
stipulation.
Says they won't attach it to a utility.
and I just got a response on it Monday, and I haven't had time to read it or run it through the attorney's office. So
Okay, so we could add that.
So for
on
the
if we
time
wanted to
being, we're
later.
gonna do without utilities, and if it changes, we can.
I'll second it.
Okay, so I have a motion by Commissioner Newton and a second by Commissioner Blocker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
That was in favor, right, Matt?
So
Yeah.
this is a request for a budget adjustment. As you know, I asked for the policy where we're not spending money on food and snacks and things like that on outside the budget, except for through the employee appreciation line. That has caused a bazillion questions I do not have the answer to. But because he had obviously budgeted for the year, we didn't budget for the fact that 3 very long-term, very respected members of our team, well, actually 4, are retiring. And so we were wanting to move money from non-departmental into the employee appreciation fund to cover retirement parties for the end of the year. So that's this ask.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the transfer of $1,400 from the non-departmental fund, Fund 4150-340, to the Employee Appreciation Fund, Fund 4148-320.
Second it.
I have a motion by Commissioner Newton and a second by Commissioner Fackrell. All in favor? Aye.
And if we could just get some
Any
clarification.
opposed?
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
You're fine. I was just waiting for Matt,
The Matt delay.
the Matt delay. Okay, motion carries.
So the employee appreciation is for employees, obviously, but there's been a question of what about parade candy and what about Halloween candy? Because our Halloween party or not the Halloween party, but when all the trick-or-treaters come from the library is going to be here next week, and a lot of people have already paid for their office candy to hand out of their. They've submitted requests to reimburse that out of their office budget. That's one of my, again, part of why I wanted the policy is because it's such a mixed bag. Like, we have some offices that pay for their own snacks out of their own pocket. We have people that take their staff to lunch, I swear, like every other week. We have, and it's just a mixed bag. So I also don't have authority to tell an elected official how they can and cannot spend their budget. So I've only enforced this on department heads, but I don't have a response for the Halloween county candy on departments.
I was under the understanding that we were gonna do it for all departments, whether they're elected or not.
Correct, but I can't enforce it
Why not?
because it's their budget.
I guess we can drop their budget.
That's the only way you can control it is drop the budget. But I think, I don't think that,
But
well, I
we've-
guess I'm only speaking for myself as an elected
And this is
official.
new, and did come mid-year or end of year. So next year we'll have an idea of what that'll look like, and they'll each have a budget, and it won't be such a shock where this coming in mid-year or end of year, it's been like, but I've already made plans for XYZ. And again, I don't run electeds.
I don't like the fact that we are, and this against you two that are elected that are in here, I don't feel like the people of the county should be paying for those extra items. That's not really, I mean, you're taking taxpayer dollars to pay for lunches or treats or
Hello.
We're back.
Now we're back.
Now we're back. Okay, so I just don't think that we should be using taxpayer dollars to pay for everybody's lunch or to, these other things that are frivolous. That's just me.
I
And-
disagree to some degree with that in that, first off, we're not paying for everybody's lunch all the time. This is very rare, right? But I think any organization that employs individuals needs to do a certain amount of extra things to take care of your employee. Whether that's once in a while you have a pizza party or and I know pizza parties have taken a real hit if you look at some of the memes online about, hey, we did great and anyway. But regardless, I guess what I'm saying is employee appreciation for any organization is a line item and it is a cost, and you really need to do something for it. Sometimes just having that extra lunch makes an employee feel like they belong and they're important. And to me, if we spend, $100 on lunch for a department and that keeps people happy, it's money well spent. Now, to say that it's frivolous, I also don't think it's frivolous. Things like candy for the parade, I mean, there's an expectation of that, and I think that we should continue to do that. Things like the
But that's for the
trick-or-treat
community.
candy, I mean, we're inviting kids to our library. Why in the world would we not give them candy, right? So to me, I don't think any of those are really frivolous. I think we could be cautious about how often we're doing that. I mean, our employees should not probably get used to having lunch once a week from us. But I think on certain occasions, that's absolutely something we should do. And I think any taxpayer who would argue and say, well, we should never spend any money on any type of employee appreciation either doesn't understand business or dealing with people. Because I would argue that you do need to show some type of something to them.
I think anything that goes to the county people is fine. I think we're getting over and above what we should be doing.
Well, and I think that's
And I don't
that
mind
was
too
the
much,
intent
a
of
little bit,
consolidating
but not
it, right?
so much. Yeah.
Correct.
And maybe I can say too, as an elected official, and I don't think enough about my employees. I should be thinking more because I don't have a line item in my for that. And so if I do something, it's usually outside. This has been nice because now Casey has come to me and said, hey, I think you should take your employees to lunch. I'm like, yeah, I should. And he gave me a budget so I can go do that. But I should be thinking of doing that myself without county money too. I mean, there's a give and take. I see your point, but I've probably erred on the side of not doing enough for the work that they do, even if it's out of my own budget. But I'm accountable to the people for my position. And if the people don't like how I'm using my budget, then they can vote me out or come talk to me and say, I don't like, this line item or whatever.
And luckily with us starting this and having next year to budget, the intent in my mind was that things like planning commission snacks, county commission snacks, the parade candy, the Halloween candy, I can buy that in bulk for a lot cheaper than every office just going and getting.
I agree.
And we have a Sam's Club membership for a reason.
Maybe buying it in advance instead
Yeah.
of running over to
Right.
the
gas station
the gas
and getting
station
bottled
and
water.
buying it for 3 times as much.
And
Keeps
that's the
key
reason
to
why I
those
thought
bags of candy. That's the question.
That is a concern. If
We do have multiple
we let all
vaults
that
in the
candy
building.
and leave it in Casey's office.
And an employee that feels appreciated and, I don't know, just receives that kind gesture of something is going to perform better.
Jeremy would like his Halloween candy.
I would just like I would just like us to have it in a central spot.
I like
Okay,
that
if
too.
we're gonna do
That
those,
was the
then they
point of
ought
the
to
policy.
they ought to be going through that central spot that we've designated. I mean, you can go and get, take your employees out, but go through the central spot. That's all I'm saying. And that way, if it's frivolous, then at least that person can go and say, I'm sorry, you've done this too much. And that way we can control it a little bit. That's all I'm asking for, is a little bit of control over it instead of having which I have seen it growing over the last year and a half. It has been growing and growing and growing, and I don't see people giving back as far as being thankful. That's just my opinion.
And I kind of like, I think it's kind of, you bring your family in here, you go get a permit or whatever, and there's a bowl of candy and the kid gets a sucker or whatever.
I agree.
I don't think anybody has a thing. And I've said it a few times, I mean, coming from another government agency where we're not allowed to buy any food. And that's our district. And so when I started seeing it come through weekly, and I'm like, reimbursement for lunch. I'm like, and I get it. I mean, people work hard. I mean, you think about during budget time or tax season, or I get it. I mean, people work hard and we want them to feel appreciated. I just don't want to see it. No, every Friday we go and get sandwiches. It's like, be cautious. I mean, this is taxpayer money, and we want people to feel appreciated. And I think a sandwich goes a long way. I really do. I don't want it to become a weekly habit that each department or whatever, we're providing lunch for all of our employees every Friday or whatever it may be. But on the occasion where they've worked hard, I think it's definitely granted.
Yeah.
And
And
I
I want our employees to feel that we care. And
I just needed some clarification, so I appreciate it. And don't be concerned, I still have already bought on my own pocket my little toothbrushes to give out at Halloween that I get made fun of for.
Oh, remind me not to go to your house.
But remember, little kids love, like toddlers
Nobody
love
comes to mine. I'm in the middle of
toothbrushes.
nowhere.
You know what? You're a bunch of haters.
or you go to
Okay.
the park. You go to the
Last
park.
question.
If you go
Have
to the
had-
dentist's house, that's what they do.
At the what?
At the dentist's houses that are in our county.
No, they give us sugar so they come back.
They give them sugar so they have built-in.
Dr. Anderton
They
used
give
to do
5-pound
that.
bags of sugar.
So we're in a weird year this year where the holiday Christmas has fallen within the week. We haven't had that in a couple of years. And so the question is, are we closing early on the 24th? Are we closing early New Year's Eve? Are we closing early Thanksgiving Eve? Mainly the questions have been Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. We didn't close last year. But from the people that were here, we had, what did they say? That we had 3 people in the county building and 2 of them were Penny's kids. Half day.
I think you did on Christmas Eve.
And I thought we did too, but for whatever reason, we didn't put it in the calendar this year. And so I don't want to just Hail Mary it without asking. Right, and so I guess that's now as people are making their travel plans.
And I suppose we probably don't do much business Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve in the afternoon. I would be in favor of closing early.
I've got court Thanksgiving Eve, but
Yeah, I just threw
but they
that on there.
canceled the Christmas Eve one. So
well,
that was
Thanksgiving Eve, I kind of
No,
don't
it's-
necessarily agree with. I think
No, the
if you
Thanksgiving
need to take it off,
was,
take it off, right?
So the number one employee requested day off, like request to use their PTO, is Black Friday.
Yeah.
So
So,
Which,
so
I
you're
mean, nobody
ask-
wants to go back to work for one day after Thanksgiving.
Not
I
after
get
all
it.
that turkey.
So are you?
But
are
I
you
better
saying,
get funeral potatoes this year. Leslie.
So are you saying that we should close maybe on the 28th of November?
Day on the
You will make a
26th.
lot of people very happy. However,
Yeah. How are they going to get their
My
40?
question is like, how many people come to the county building to do things on that Friday?
I know the library
I
they
would think
do.
it'd be dead.
It's full.
But
I will say sometimes those are my favorite days because I get a lot
I get
done.
so
Yeah, I
much
mean-
work done.
So those
Yeah, I
are-
mean,
because the
people
doors
can
are
still
locked.
come- I mean,
Yeah, they could come, but
if you got keys, you can come in if you want to hang
I
out.
suppose we could close to the public on the 28th, allow employees to choose if they want to take the day off using PTO or if they'd like to come into work.
Yeah, I don't think it should be a paid vacation.
Oh, okay. Tax time.
Oh, to come in and pay their taxes.
Yeah.
Tell them to
call.
pay online. It's just a convenience fee.
That's true. That's true. So when does it due this year? The first?
Sorry. Is that
Oh,
the
that
last
would be
day?
the last day to pay your taxes, then we probably ought to be open that
Yeah.
day.
It is.
I think it's Monday.
I
Yeah.
got till Monday.
I hope.
But yeah. Nope, that's just why I threw it on there. But
Well,
I got the 3 days.
the
so-
ask has been for
I think
Christmas,
Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, why don't we close early at like noon or 1 o'clock? I would just do
I would
that
just
in
say- I
would just make it
perpetuity.
in
I don't think
perpetuity.
they would
Yeah.
come back
You
every
close at
time.
noon on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. I would
Every
think so.
year. What Matt wanted to say something.
Then all the
Right,
guys
Matt.
can go
Oh, he
shopping.
just didn't want him to get a free holiday.
on the
okay,
28th.
Right.
Now, on the years where Christmas or New Year's, because it's always pretty much the same day, fall on weekends, I'd still like to come before you guys before we set the schedule, but just on the weekdays, if we could have it in perpetuity, that saves.
Yeah.
Well, then all the dads can go do their shopping on Christmas Eve. and
Yeah,
go
if
tomorrow.
Christmas Eve is on a Saturday, then obviously we're not gonna.
Leslie, you need to use the
Right.
mic.
Close them.
But then you've got to determine if you want the library open also.
So do you need
I
a,
already checked with the library.
Do you
and
need
they
an
said they
official
already have a
motion on
modified
that?
Schedule. I would appreciate one.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the early closure on Christmas Eve, December 24th, and New Year's Eve, December 31st, provided that those days fall on a weekday
At noon.
at noon. Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Newton and a second by Commissioner Fackrell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you.
Welcome.
That is.
And are we doing anything with the day after Thanksgiving or not?
No.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know we will be very skeleton crew.
Okay.
We'll need somebody here to
Treasurer,
take.
We always are.
treasurer's
Yeah,
office
so we're gonna
needs
get
to make
that.
sure they're open, full force. Okay.
I need to
Okay.
make a motion to go into closed
Oh,
session.
not yet. We gotta do Commissioner comments first.
Does that go first?
Yep.
And then I do it?
So
That
Katie can
sounds
go
great.
home.
So, yep, so Commissioner Blocker.
See. Okay. Besides meeting with a few constituents, Blaine and I attended the centrally assessed committee meeting. That was pretty interesting, I thought.
Very.
So, I learned 9% of Morgan County is mining, sand and gravel. And 91% of Morgan County is utilities for our centrally assessed properties. It's a lot. Yeah. So a lot of good information there. Attended COG meeting, nothing really pertinent, so.
Commissioner Newton.
I don't know if you want to update on the land use task force here, or if you want me to do that at another venue. At the
I'd say
meeting I
go in
attended
another
today.
venue.
What's that?
I'd say do it in closed session or whatever. Is that what you want?
I mean, I would think it could potentially apply to,
If it's procurement of land or selling of land, like the acquisition
no,
or,
it'd be more related to
litigation.
potential legal action.
so if it is pending or reasonably imminent, then we can discuss it there.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've got some stuff too on that.
And that's all I have.
Okay, Commissioner Fackrell.
Well, last time I tried to go through a few of the items, there was just so much, and I can give it to you in an email at a later date, as far as the different things that I learned at both the Utah One Conference and the Tourism and Conference. And one thing about the One Utah Conference that I think that most of us here, including the electeds that have left now, and individuals, is this one conference. You don't have to be an elected. You don't have to be, it's a good conference to go to because it helps you as an individual in your own aspects of life. Garrett's been to it before, and it helps you with leadership. It helps you with, maybe motivating you again. It helps with aspects of your life. And I could recommend it to anybody, whether they work for the county or as an elected official, to go to one of those because they are so good. A business owner would be great.
Is that the One Utah Summit?
The One Utah Summit. And I plan on going even when I'm not in the commission because it's such a great conference. The people that you meet, the people you get to talk to, those things, the networking is very, very good. It helps you individually with your job in whatever capacity that job would be. And so I would recommend that. Besides, they give away free books if you ever read them. I got 3 books, different ones from different people. But there was a boxer, retired boxer that came, and he was a heavyweight champion or a middleweight champion, and about anger issues. Great for me. And then
Last year, the Lovesac owner,
that one. And the Traeger.
I mean, it was awesome because then he was out there signing them too, and he was just talking about building a business and just gave away tons and tons of free books.
Yeah.
No, not Traegers.
Not Traegers.
Or Lovesac's, but books about
how they did it. I mean, one of them last year that I don't know if you were still there for, it was Get Back Up to the Counter. And it was by Joanne Mulholland. And she was back in 1969 in the riot times. She was the only white person that was assisting black. And she
in
got...
the South, Beach South, getting at the counter and
getting in
being
the South.
arrested.
And I mean, it was an unbelievable thing for me. And she told how people should be able to interact with each other, whether they're black, white, green, or blue. However it is that you can interact with people, and if you get put down, even though you may be beat down, you can still get back up to the counter, and you can go at it again. So that was a helpful one, and then this year there's a retired colonel, or maybe it was general. Sorry, brigadier general from the Air Force. Leadership that breaks barriers, challenges convention, and ignites innovation. And that one is a very good one that I know you like to read, have your employees read books. This might be an idea for you, and you can borrow it if you'd like. So that was good. That was a very good thing. So I recommend that one to everybody. Then this year with with our governor and the Secretary of Interior, they were there. He was there on video, and the governor was heading on his way back up here for the funeral of President Nelson. But they were on video for a short time, and that they were explaining to us how the federal government, how Secretary of Interior, what's his name, Drogan? Anyway, they were talking about that, how the federal government is trying to help unite or reignite rural communities, and how they're trying to help us all improve in our rural communities and trying to help us develop what we need to out here, whether it be power, whether it be economics, whether it be tourism, whatever it is. And those were just some of the things that happened. And I mean, I got tons of papers on it, notes. So I don't want to go through them all tonight for everybody's sake. So, and the biggest thing also, and I would hope that you would take back to the Economic Development CEO board, is that they may want to look into more of a visitor economy. And I mentioned this last time. But if they could look into a visitor economy, and I could go and tell you what that means and what it means to the people in a small rural area, a visitor economy, instead of economic development, you call it a visitor economy, which people visit and then leave. But during that time they're here, they spend money. And that's how you can improve upon, number one, jobs, revenue, and sales taxes, since we have sales taxes here. So those are just some of the kind of things that can happen that I think are beneficial. And then, Utah Film Commission. Have we got anything going on that one that's coming here? It's all been approved and everything
Which one?
for that Yellowstone breakoff?
It's already been.
Okay, good. Because they're saying,
That was like a month ago.
they're saying they don't know that we're doing that in the state when it comes to the film commission. So we
meet
need
with them
we need-
monthly.
Okay, update them again, and just because on the list they didn't show us at all. Morgan County is not on the list
On which
of films coming
But
to
like,
Utah.
what group am I?
This is the Utah Tourism, the film commission mainly. They're the ones that were saying, well, Morgan County doesn't have one.
We literally have a meeting every
Okay, we'll talk to them
Okay.
again. Okay, and
Is that different than the Film Ready?
what's that? It was Virginia Pierce. Okay,
Okay.
she's the director of
It's gonna
the.
get with Blaine.
Okay,
There we go.
and then. Oh, best part, I was gonna bring up tonight, the One Utah Summit. Clint Pulver, I don't know if you guys know him. Okay, this would go more for, this is for everybody. Do not label people just because they're different. Okay, he was in elementary school, Clint Pulver, and now he's from Utah. And he now is, because of an elementary school teacher that helped him to realize that he was different. And he was able to take that talents that he had by being different and turn it into a lifelong goal of being a drummer and a business owner. And he has, anyway, I've got some information on that and I'll send it all to you. Okay, but anyway, he was super good as far as that part of it. Anyway, what I was going to bring was the drummer sticks. Anyway, then the other thing we had on the 8th, the trails, the anyway, I went to the WFRC and they basically are talking about different kinds of funding that we can get. And if anybody would like to join in a course, it's a 9-week course that teaches individuals that have an aspect or want to do something in trails, that if you want to be in on this first initial group, I just need to know if you want to do it. It will help you and teach you where to find the funding, how to build it, how to get coalitions, how to get partnerships, and those kinds of things within the active transportation area. So if you're interested, I need to know soon so I can put your name in. Okay? And any of the public that would like to do that, you can also give me a call. It's not just to the elected officials. Okay, that's it for now.
I have nothing. Commissioner Wilson, do you have anything?
He's asleep now after mine.
No, I think probably didn't bring up WHS because there was nothing. Half the time we couldn't even talk, so.
Yeah, that's true. They couldn't hear us.
So anyway, no, I don't have anything. A closed session, I mind sharing something. Other than that, nope.
Okay. Raylene, you had a motion you wanted to make?
Yes. Do I need a motion to go out of the regular meeting into, or
Just
just?
a,
And so you just move to go into closed session and then outline
Yes, I
for
move
the purposes.
that we go into closed session for the purpose of discussing possible property acquisition.
And potential litigation.
Pending or reasonably imminent
And,
litigation.
just name,
What?
just read them all. Just, you can just,
oh, I need to
No,
read it all?
Well, I
Just the-
think, yeah.
Just
or
litigation.
just those two, sorry.
And discussion pending or reasonably imminent litigation.
Second.
So I have a motion by Commissioner Walker and a second by Commissioner Fackrell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can we take 5 minutes?
Yeah, let's take 5 minutes and
Take a recess first.
enjoy your night.